Hi guys, so I used to upload videos where I would show a back and forth between Keir Starmer, the leader of the opposition, and Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister. But it has become more and more obvious that this is pointless. It's pointless to do this because the response from Boris Johnson has now become fossilized. What I mean by that is that his response to every question is the same. In this case, it's the vaccine rollout. Now, if you remember back to 2019 and early 2020, his standard response at that time was, "We're getting Brexit done." Now it is, "We're rolling out the vaccine." Johnson will be in serious trouble when the vaccine rollout is actually complete. And it's also interesting that he's stopped using international comparisons because when it comes to that, the UK is close to being overtaken by many European countries when it comes to the target of 70% of the population covered. Anyway, here is an example of Boris Johnson running to his hiding place.
But the best response, in my view, to their grief and their pain and the sufferings that they have endured is to get on with a new health secretary, which is what we have, and with all the energy and application that we have, to roll out those vaccines and allow the people of this country to work forwards towards Freedom Day, which I devoutly hope will come on July the 19th. And never let it be forgotten, Mr. Speaker, that if we'd followed the advice of the right honourable gentleman, that would not be possible, because it was under his proposals that we would have stayed in the European Medicines Agency and been unable to deliver the vaccine rollout at all.
This really upsets me. Once again, he's mixing the vaccine with lies. And it's really annoying that the Speaker of the House criticised the SNP leader Ian Blackford yesterday, on Tuesday, for suggesting that Boris Johnson lies. So Boris Johnson clearly lies here. He's not held to account. And you can't criticise him. You can't actually call him a liar. Anyway.
Yes, Starmer.
Mr. Speaker, I really think that having failed to sack the former health secretary, he really is trying to take credit now for the fact that we've got a new health secretary. So, Mr. Speaker, well, he wouldn't be there if the Prime Minister had his way. The matter was closed. So, Mr. Speaker, it's no questions asked by the Prime Minister on Friday and no questions answered today. Yeah. There's a pattern here. Yeah. When Dominic Cummings broke the rules by driving to Barnard Castle, the Prime Minister backed him. When the Housing Secretary unlawfully approved a £1 billion property deal for a Tory donor, the Prime Minister backed him. When the Home Secretary broke the Ministerial Code, the Prime Minister backed her. And when the Health Secretary broke COVID rules, the Prime Minister tried and wanted to back him too. Every time it's the same old story. Isn't it the case, Mr. Speaker, that while the British people are doing everything asked of them, it's one rule for them and another rule for everybody else?
Mr. Speaker, this government, there was a new health secretary the following day.
That's not something positive. Saying, look, we have a revolving door here. That's not a positive, Boris Johnson.
Speaker, the whole country can see that, and we are getting on. We are getting on with our agenda of vaccinating the population of this country through the energy and application of the new secretary.
That's what I'm talking about. On 2 occasions here, and he continues it on other occasions as well, but this is just 2 examples of him falling back to the vaccine rollout. And of course, it's not the government that should be taking the glory here. It should be the NHS, because it's the NHS that are doing the heavy lifting, not the government. But they'll never turn around and say, thanks to the NHS for the rollout of the vaccine. They want the public to believe that it's Boris Johnson and his government that are, as I said, doing the heavy lifting. But they're not. They want to take all the glory. They don't want to take any of the blame. Over 130,000 people are dead because of Boris Johnson and his mistakes, because of his health secretary who is incompetent, who didn't know what the hell he was doing. What's also annoying about this is that this whole saga surrounding Matt Hancock is that the public get the impression that Matt Hancock resigned because he acted immorally in his office, or that he broke COVID restrictions. The bigger problem, of course, is corruption. Matt Hancock being responsible for a department where billions of pounds of contracts were handed over to private companies, in many cases without any scrutiny. When he was challenged, he refused to answer questions in Parliament. He refused to come to Parliament on numerous occasions. The rollout of the vaccine is propping Boris Johnson up at the moment. As I said before, when that finishes, perhaps we're going to see some real scrutiny. That's all he has at the moment. He has nothing left. And perhaps when he has nothing left, he may fall. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?